So like obviously like you probably have more general knowledge that on working out in general, like how to do it correctly. Have you noticed like in your throughout your schooling and learning what you've been learning, was there ever a moment where you're like, oh shit, like maybe I was like potentially doing an exercise incorrectly, or
Yeah.
like I was putting myself at risk to potentially get hurt in
Hmm.
this way, and what was maybe something for you? Because I'm sure it's different for everybody.
Definitely. Yeah. So Logan was right.
About what?
Logan Bradley stretching when
Okay.
he would be like stretching's bad for you, and like none of us believed him.
Yeah.
He just didn't know why, and he
Yeah.
couldn't explain to us why. Um,
That's fair. I mean,
so we were all just like, "Shut up, Logan! You don't
to
know."
his credit, I don't really stretch, and I mean, other than when we did as a team, I don't stretch. Like I usually just get to the gym
Yeah.
like 3 hours ahead of time, so I can just like slowly warm up. But
Hmm.
I don't know. But
And
what's the
that's,
reason?
but yeah. So anyway, like when you're doing, they call that static stretching. What most people do before sports, like you put your arm across your chest and you like hold it. You count to like 10 or 20 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, they call that static stretching, and that can like you won't be able to generate as much power after you do that, after you hold that stretch for a certain amount of time, because you have muscle fibers that'll rip like
Mm.
during that, not like an injury rip, but
Yeah.
just like your fibers are really small. They're like smaller than a strand of hair,
Yeah.
but they'll tear from that, and if you tear enough of them, you lose power, and you don't want to be losing power right when you're about to go out and perform.
Yeah.
So what I learned, what like is recommended, is like dynamic stretching, where you take your muscles like through their full range of motion, like
Mm.
continuously, basically like doing like big swooping arm circles, or doing like high knees, butt kicks, doing like a karaoke, like side shuffle, swinging your arms while you're doing that, jogging, or like a skipping, like a
Mm.
skipping jog,
Yeah.
just things like that, where you're starting off nice and slow,
Just kind
like
of slowly loosening your body up
yeah,
into
you
what it's
first
going to be
like
doing.
yeah, you're like first a lot of the movements like at Sports Advantage we have them do like the same kind of warm up routine, like they do their dynamic warm up like I was just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it's like in they call it like the sagittal plane, where like it's forward facing
Yeah.
movements, like you're doing high knees, you're doing butt kicks, and then like slowly you get to like side shuffle, so you're working like the lateral side to
Mm-hmm.
side stuff, and then like rotational stuff eventually. So like
Mm.
you're hitting like all three different like planes of movement, and then after that they'll have them do like a mobility warm up, where they like get down on the ground and go through a bunch of different like movements, like what's one I can think of that's they've all got crazy names, and nobody would know what they were if I said a cat cow, like
Yeah.
nobody knows what that is, but basically
Yeah.
like you get down and like you're arching your back to look like a cat, and then like
Oh yeah,
instead
cat cow's pretty. That
yeah,
one
and
people
then
might
like
know that one. That
hunching your
one's a
back over to
sort
like
of
look like a
popular.
cow, I think is the idea.
Yeah.
Or maybe I had those backwards, maybe the hunched over one's the cat, I don't know.
And hunched over is the cat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel
cat
like
cow, cat
yeah,
cow.
yeah,
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 because
yeah.
I've done yoga and stuff,
Hmm.
and they it's a similar. I think that's the pose or the name of it. But yeah, that's it's interesting and it's funny. Shout out to Logan for being right for once.
Yeah. Exactly.
He'll like
I
that.
thought
He's
that
not
was
gonna.
funny.
He's not gonna. Don't tell him that. I mean, if he sees this, he'll
Yeah,
know.
if he
But
sees it.
but yeah, I guess he was right. I know for me personally, I other than when we did like team stretches together, I don't really stretch. Like
Yeah.
I like if I'm tight in the middle of a game, like I do like this like weird fucking like little stretch. Like I feel my back of my knees. It's just my knees are fucked up though.
Mhm.
So like if I'm going to work out or if I'm going to the gym, like if we're going to play, I would never. I just get there. However, like if we're playing at 3, I just get there at 2, or I get there at 1:30, and I'm just there,
Right.
and I just like
That's
just
not a
shoot.
bad way to do it either.
Yeah, just like
Yeah.
slowly loosen my whole body into it. So then by the time we're like everybody gets there, I'm already like sweating a little bit,
Yeah.
and I'm like ready to go.
Yeah,
And I
raise
just
that
take
body
my
temperature
time.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it too. And I'm not saying static stretching is bad always. Like if you
I heard too like it's almost like I thought there was like a certain time, like I think people don't hold it long enough either, right?
Right,
It's
yep.
like you should be doing it for like 30 to
at least
45
30,
seconds.
Yep, at least 30 seconds, like anywhere up to like 90. So
Yeah.
like, that's why a lot of people do like rounds. They'll do like one round of 30, and then like they do all their stretches to like 30 seconds, and they go through again for
Mhm.
another 30 seconds. So they're hitting like that 60
Yeah.
second mark.
Which makes
But
more sense then.
yeah, a lot of people don't hold stretches long enough. 10 seconds is not long enough. Like if you're trying to add range of motion, 10 seconds isn't going to do it. Like if you're legitimately trying to like reach further, like with your legs or with your arms or whatever, like 10 seconds isn't enough. You're going to have to do more than that.
Yeah.
Just like working out, like if you were working out for 10 seconds, that's not going to be enough to build muscle.
Yeah,
Put in
yeah.
a little more work.
Yeah, that
Um,
makes sense. Hey, thanks for watching there, guy. Click right over here if you want to see that episode in its entirety. Or you can click over here and subscribe to the channel. See all the other fun shit we do here. It's really up to you, guy.